All right, welcome, ladies and gents, to lesson 2. So in the previous lesson, we talked about the importance of sales copy and messaging. And I hope you've gone through that video. You should have gone through that video. And I hope you've grasped just how important sales copy really is. And, you should now be seeing it all around you, the power of it, and you understand the core principles. Well, in this lesson, we're going to talk about exactly how you can begin writing your own sales copy, which is sort of the part that no one ever tells you, unless you enroll in a very, very high price course or something. So in this lesson, I'm going to go over exactly how to craft, how to structure sales pages using proven sales copy formulas. And we're going to talk about each element in this lesson. And then in the final lesson of the module, I'm going to give you the VSL and sales letter examples and case studies and, of copy that I've written before. And you can just use that as a template and insert your own insert your own words and personality, of course. So without further ado, let's crack on. Please do take notes as always. So before you start writing, okay, here's the thing. It's not just like you get a pen or you go on your keyboard and you just start writing. You must get into a certain zone, a certain frame of mind before you start writing. And that's really important because it's going to be essential in actually getting the conversions that you need. Okay. So first, what do you have to do? Well, you have to figure out who you're actually selling to, right? And really, really hone in on this. You should have a fair idea of how to do this by now. But really think deeply about exactly who you're selling to. And I don't just mean demographic or gender or even niche. I'm talking getting deep. So talking about what is their primary source of pain. Remember, it's all about emotions. People buy with emotion and then they justify the purchase later with logic. So the more you can figure out what their emotional hot buttons are, which we obviously talked a lot about in the previous lesson, the more effective you're going to be as a writer. Okay. So, maybe take out a pen and paper and just draw a little avatar and really think about your target market. Try and put yourself in their shoes and try and really think about what they look like in terms of what's going on inside their mind, what they're feeling, what troubles they're facing, and so forth. So then you need to think about your product, whatever it is you're offering. And I don't mean, this is very important. You don't want to be writing all the features and the gadgets and whatnot. I mean, that's important. But really, when you're talking about your product, you want to approach it from the standpoint of what's in it for them. Okay, let me bring out my pen here. So this is really the key here. We want to be always speaking about what's in it for them. So for example, if we are selling a dog training guide, okay, let's say we're in the dog niche, and our dog training guide, it's very effective in getting dogs to come back. Okay, dogs run away or move away, or getting them to come back. Okay, well, that's cool. So what you want to think about is not just saying, hey, my dog training guide gets your dog to come back 100% of the time. Okay, that's great. But what is the value or the benefit from their point of view? And in this case, what it is that if their dog is coming back to them when they're calling it, this leads to a well-behaved dog, which leads to a more peaceful life, which leads to less embarrassment in front of friends and family. These are the emotional benefits behind actually solving the problem. So this is the way you want to frame it. Okay. Of course, you say what the benefit of whatever it is you're offering does, but what is that? What is the benefit within that benefit? What is the real value brought to their life? And, this usually boils down to, especially in our niche, financial freedom, more time with family, more time with loved ones, just more time for yourself, being able to travel. These are the things you need to relay to your target market. Yeah. So as I just said, the benefit within the benefit. So, remember, it's no good just saying, my course enables you to learn about copywriting. Well, that's the benefit of your course. What is the benefit within that benefit? Well, now that you know how to write copywriting, you're able to pretty much sell anything you want by using the power of writing, by using the power of words. And the benefit of this is that obviously you're able to make an income online, or you've gained a skill that is very, very valuable. Um, the the real true benefit of this is you get closer to living out your dreams. You get closer to selling um, a hundred membership subscriptions, which is your goal for the year. You get closer to being able to quit your job, or you get closer to being able to take that trip to Hawaii or whatever it is. But always think about the benefit within the benefit. And before you start writing, you want to really think about what makes you unique and what makes you stand out. So remember, we are not the only marketers, or we're not the only people selling um, in the marketplace. So always try and stand out a little bit, have a point of difference. And this is where it's a good idea to really look at the competition. In one of the lessons or on one of our live calls, I'm going to talk a lot about how to hack effectively. Russell Brunson, he's built the whole business on this. But it's a very, very good idea to look at the competition, look at your rivals and see what they're doing. A really good way to do it is just have a look at what they're offering. A good rival, of course, good competition, and then add a stronger guarantee or a more compelling offer on top of that. Okay, so always have a deep think about what extra value are you giving? How can you stand out from the rest of the marketplace? It's often easier than you think. A lot of it just boils down to being able to provide extraordinary value, which we've talked about before. And this can often, a lot of people aren't willing to show up and give that value on a daily basis. But if you are, then you instantly stand out from the rest of the crowd. It puts you in a stronger position. And you want to think about the perception you want, and then adapt your language to suit this. So, my goal was to be perceived as the number one traffic agency in the industry. So I sort of tweaked my messaging to suit this narrative. Okay. So obviously it needs to be true and backed up by results, which it is in my case, but just think about how you want to be perceived, the outside perception. So when people are looking in, what sort of brand do you want to represent? And always think about this before you start writing. Okay. So here are just 5 things. Well, 6 things. Also have one big idea in mind. Okay. A lot of the times when we're writing sales copy, we can identify more than one emotional hot button. We have a lot of different ideas going around, but just try and stick with one big idea. So my whole thing was, having the number one traffic source and being able to help people convert leads into sales. So I stuck with that one big idea, and it should run through the whole sales copy. All right. And then finally, always write how you speak. So some people, they start to write a little bit too formally, and this is not really the way to do it. Or sometimes they start writing like a news report, but really you want to just write the same way that you speak. So, you don't be afraid to use slang, or even in some cases expletives where appropriate, if that's how you speak in real life. It's not one of these things where you have to go all corporate and stiff upper lip kind of thing. Just be natural, and it's okay. Just write as you speak. Okay. There's no special formula for that. You speak in a certain way, and that's the same way you should write. And finally here, I would just like to say that I'm going to put a link down here. I ordered this book, and it's been very, very helpful to me. It's Matt Basak's. It's called Marketing Sidekick. And when I write all my sales pages, all my sales copy, I actually use this book because he's got a lot of swipes and templates in there. And it's very, very, very useful. It's like a swipe file. It's got a bunch of good headlines, subject lines, even for emails. It's got a lot of good swipe copy in there. It's a really good, handy tool to just have on your desk whenever you're writing a sales page or whenever you're writing a sales message. I use it to this day. In fact, I used it to help me in this lesson because he really has compiled some of the most effective little bits of copy and put them into different sections. Okay, so go check that out. I recommend you use it because it's going to be a handy tool. You can also create your own swipe file. But yeah, Matt Basak, Marketing Sidekick is called. The link is here, and I'll put it below this video also in the resources section. And also, remember this, when we're writing, we're always, I'm sure I don't have to say this, but we're writing to other fellow human beings. And you should know this already by the previous lesson, that humans, they buy with emotion. And our whole goal here is to try and trigger these emotions in order to motivate them to enact some sort of change in their life. I was reading a psychology article, and they had like 5 or 6 basic human needs. And so it's always a good idea to be aware of what these needs are, because you can begin to weave them into your copy and use them in different elements. So let's go through them. So of course, one of the basic human needs is security. Okay. And when we talk about security, we're talking about personal security. People, they want to feel safe, financial and emotional. So obviously, if you're selling a financial product, then it's a very easy human basic need to weave in. But always just think about personal security, emotional security. So, if you're selling something in the affiliate marketing niche, then you can always tap into this product will enable you to build commissions and have a passive income. And also within that, you'll feel like you've accomplished something. You've started your own online business, and this gives somebody personal security and emotional security also. So that's one. Another basic need is convenience. People, they always want something that's convenient, it's easy to follow. This is why done for you solutions are very popular. This is why templates are very popular. This stuff works. So just bear that in mind. Here's a big one, freedom. Okay. And freedom comes in many, many forms. So we're talking about freedom from just worrying. This is a huge one. If you can tap into this in your sales copy, and you should always do this, the freedom from the daily worry and stress is a big, big, big motivator for most human beings, full stop. So if you are able to translate how your product or offer can help them get closer to this freedom or help them achieve this freedom, then this is really going to trigger some positive emotional triggers within your target customer. All right, very powerful stuff, guys. And of course, we have freedom from a job, bills, a certain lifestyle. And, we're talking about peace of mind and comfort. So just try and bear this in mind, that people are always after freedom. And then let's see how you can help them to get there, or what your product can do to help them to achieve the freedom that they really desire. Another basic need, self-improvement, whether it's be spiritual, intellectual, or physical. People have an innate want to learn and to improve themselves. So again, bear this in mind and try and link this and align this with what you're selling. Okay. Acceptance and recognition from others, self-esteem, achievement, attention, respect, companionship. Okay. These are all basic human needs. People want to feel they're part of something, they've achieved something, they want to feel good about themselves, they want to feel respected. So a lot of the times we can achieve this in our sales copy by using the power of community. So if we're selling something, we can just share the fact that we have so many different members. We have a like-minded and a highly motivated community that work together with one singular goal in mind. Love, of course, love is one of the most powerful emotions. And I'm not saying to talk about love specifically, but just bear in mind that love is a basic human need of for your target market. So, one way to do this would be to sort of highlight what things your target customer loves doing? Okay. Do you love playing golf on the weekends? Do you love spending time with family? Do you love having freedom? So highlight what it is that they love, and then again, align whatever you're selling for them to have those feelings. This is very, very powerful sales copy. This is exactly how it's done. And of course, health. Health is something that everybody wants and strives for. So bear that in mind. Okay, let's jump into the juicy stuff. So this is the basic sales letter script flow. Okay, now we're talking about constructing your own sales pages. Now, don't worry about the graphics and all that, what it's going to look like. In the next lesson and in the conversion systems modules, I'm going to give you the templates so you could just copy and paste and fill in the words and whatever. But I want you to understand the flow of what a sales page looks like. Now, it's important to remember that this can also be converted into a video sales letter. All right. So it's not just that you have to write this, it can be converted into an actual video. You can even use both, depending whatever you want to do. So this is the basic flow of what a sales letter, a sales page, sales letter, this is what it looks like. Right. So we always start with the headline. Okay. So of course we talked about headlines. We talked about, the AEDA formula. The first step is always attention. And the way to do this in marketing is with headlines. All right. So we're going to dive deep into this, but you want to start with your headline. Then we move on to the subheadline. Okay. So headline, subheadline, these often work together. They work in partnership in order to interrupt, gauge attention, and then engage. So you sort of suck them in here, then you keep them reading here. Okay. Then, of course, an opener. A lot of people struggle with this. How exactly do you open up your sales message? What's the first sentence? What does that look like? So I'm going to give you those, the templates there, what a good opener looks like and why. Then after this, once we've got their attention, we've engaged them, and we've got them reading our opener, where we're starting to get a little bit of desire built into them. We then want to establish credibility and build authority. Okay. So, why should they listen to you? Basically, who are you? I'm going to show you a very easy way to do this, but these are all the elements of a proven sales letter. Okay. So just take a note of these or download this slide or whatever. After this comes the story of discovery. So how you actually came up with this solution. And when I go over this, we're going to talk about storytelling in a little bit of depth as well. So you're going to know exactly how to tell a good story, which is a very powerful part of sales copy. After we do this, we then introduce our product. Okay. We introduce whatever it is we're selling. And this is where we tell them exactly what it is, what it does, and what makes it unique. Okay. So this is the flow. Now we've come to this bit. Now, after this, it's not good enough just telling them what it is we're selling. If it's a good fit for them, remember, we have to give them the benefits. What is the true benefits for them? This is best usually done using bullet points. I'm sure you've seen this before. And this is where we really want to justify the purchase. So remember, all this stuff is emotional. So we're hitting upon emotional triggers here. And then really in this bit, we're helping them to justify their purchase by emphasizing the benefits. So, we can almost say, well, is it worth spending $100? Because what you're going to get back, or the value you're going to get, is worth 300 times that. So here we really want to emphasize the exact benefits that they're getting. Okay. Testimonials, very, very, very important. So after this comes testimonials. So we want to show social proof. We want to show that it works for others. Okay. Especially in today's day and age, like, you want to be credible. So we've established credibility here, but we establish it again here. But we also show that others are using it and it's working. All right. And it's not hard to get testimonials. If you have a good product, if you do offer value, then testimonials is no problem. Then comes your price. This is just the flow of it. there's not really a lot to say about price. It really depends what you're selling. But if we do have any questions about that, we will address them on the lives. Then, very important part, bonuses. Bonuses is all about adding value. So remember, it's all about their return on investment, not just what they're spending. So we try and add as much bonuses into the product as we can to really value stack and give them the biggest return on investment possible. And then after that, we want to give a guarantee. So this is all about reversing the risk and taking the risk off their shoulders, you know, and this is often achieved through like a money back guarantee or a keep the bonuses guarantee or whatever. So, you know, if you don't like what you got, then, you know, I'll give you a full refund and you can even keep the bonuses. You want to make a real strong, bold guarantee, but it's very important you have one there. And then finally, one of the things a lot of people miss out is the PS, okay, the PS at the end. And in here, it can be used in a few different ways, but the best way to do it is either emphasize the guarantee you just made or something called the two options method, which I'm sure you've seen before, but if not, it kind of goes something like this. Hey, well, look, now you have two options. Remember, this is once they've scrolled past. So you just need to give them one more little push and one more little reminder of exactly what we discussed up here. So it's like, okay, now you have two options. One, carry on as you are, stuck in the same, you know, negative spiral of not being able to train your dog or whatever. Or option two, you take this risk-free guide and have a wonderful bark-free life, you know, a well-behaved dog. So that's that. So let's tackle element number one. We're going to go into the headlines. All right. So listen, a goal of a headline, it really just has one goal, and it's to keep the reader to get the reader to keep reading. This is a principle introduced by Joseph Sugarman. Go check him out. Very cool guy, very amazing copywriter. But a goal of a headline is really just to keep the reader keeping. Whoa, that came out wrong. Sorry, to keep the reader reading. Excuse me. So just bear that in mind. The whole point of your headline is to just get them to read the subheadline. And here's a little headline. Every headline should have checklist. So every headline should grab your target market attention. It should trigger some sort of emotion. Okay. Remember the emotional hot buttons. It should evoke some sort of curiosity, and it should be relevant to the reader. All right. So, you know, if you're talking about a woeful dog or dog causing you trouble, it might trigger some emotional curiosity, but to a cat owner, it's not going to be relevant. So that's why it's always important to understand exactly who they are. And you should always offer something. Okay. You should always be offering something. So as said, you know, your headlines really need to trigger some sort of emotional response, and we need to really motivate them to keep reading. All right. So when we're writing, we want to put ourselves in their shoes. Now, again, as always, I'm going one step further. I'm giving you an exact headline formula. So number one, get clear about your target audience. So now let's say when you're going to go write a headline, you can come to this and you can use this formula. So you need to obviously get clear about who your target audience are. All right. So when I say clear, I mean really clear, what motivates them. And then you could trigger these emotions within the headline. So an example, if you're selling coffee mugs, you could include the term attention coffee lovers, okay, in your headline, because we're being relevant. This is actually an emotional trigger. Somebody who loves coffee, it's not necessarily something that causes them pain, but it's something that causes them pleasure, which is another way just to use a hot button. Okay. Step two is you want to define your core message within your headline. What exactly are you trying to communicate? All right. And try and be very specific with this. So before you sit down and write your headline, get really clear on who they are and what exactly you're trying to achieve in that. What are you trying to communicate within that headline? So you can ask yourself these following questions. Are you solving their problem? Are you offering something better, an alternative? Are you giving them some valuable information? So these are things you want to consider when writing your headlines. This is like a magnet. People will be magnetized to your headlines. They'll be more engaged if you go through this process first. Let me tell you something. All the headlines you see, the subject lines, the good ones anyway, you see in your inbox, the ones that you are compelled, the reason you're here, in fact, is not by coincidence, it's by design, because I myself have used these principles in order to attract you. So there's the proof that it works, in case you needed any. But once you start writing like this, guys, this is the difference. Trust me, this is what I did. This is what I really mastered, is how to write proper sales copy, and even to this day, I'm still learning about sales copy because I love it so much. You can always learn new techniques, but once you start approaching it in this way, there's really no stopping you, because once you can write to sell even, the rest is very, very easy, because you can sell anything. You could sell somebody else's products. You could sell yourself. You could sell courses. You can sell selling, for heaven's sake. Okay. So part 3, identify the emotional hot buttons. Remember? So I'll give you a very practical example. Most of you guys in this course are going to be affiliate marketers. So an emotional hot button for many affiliate marketers, particularly the beginners, is really they're getting a lack of sales. So they've learned about affiliate marketing. They've joined the affiliate marketing program. They know how to get the products and whatnot, but they're having real trouble actually getting affiliate sales. A lack of sales is a big problem for them. It's causing them pain. And another thing is they actually just have a lack of time. Okay, especially when you're getting started. It's like sometimes you may have another job or a main job. Sometimes you just may not be so time efficient or whatever, but a lack of time seems to be a big one also. So within my headline, I would talk directly to these emotional hot buttons, right? So I could use the term improve conversions, or increase conversions, actually would be a better one. Increase conversions. If I'm saying in a headline that I'm going to help someone increase conversions or show them how to increase conversions, and they're an affiliate marketer and they're having a lack of sales, it's going to hit their hot button. They're going to be emotionally invested in what I have to say. Here, more sales, another variation of what we're saying. And then one, to address their lack of time, a done for you solution. Oh, well, if you're an affiliate marketer, oh, wow. Okay. A done for you solution. Thank God. Finally, someone who's doing it for me, because you know what? I don't have the time to build websites, or I just don't know how. I don't have the technical skill to do it. So, hey, I'm going to offer you a done for you solution. Wow. That sounds like magic. That sounds perfect to me. I'm definitely going to have a look at what this guy has to say, this guy or girl. All right. I hope that makes sense. Then the next step is you want to select a headline format. There's a document that I'm going to include below this, which has all different types of headline examples. But I'm very quickly just going to go through here a couple of different formats. So there's the direct headline, which just states the offer directly. So brand new traffic source, just 70 cents per click. So I'm just telling them directly, I'm have a brand new traffic source on offer, and it's well priced. So there's not much subtlety there. This is just a direct headline. 2 is like indirect. So you're using clever double meanings, metaphors, and an example of this is exactly what you've been asking for. Okay, this is very effective. It's indirect because it's not actually addressing something specific, but it's letting them know that I have the answer. I have what you've been looking for. I have what you've been asking for. Why is it so good? Because it evokes curiosity. Okay, people want to know more. Then you've got the news article type of headlines. Breaking news, new traffic source blows the competition out of the water. This works because we're kind of hardwired to respond to news article type breaking news. But this is a little bit more of an advanced technique. And if you're going to use something like this, like a news article type, then you should carry that on within the rest of the sales letter. And then we have question headlines. So are you tired of, are you sick of, are you struggling to? So are you tired of not being able to convert leads into sales? Are you sick of buying course after course and never getting anything out of it? Are you struggling to write effective headlines without wasting hours and hours? So this is question headlines are very powerful. Continued, we have here the how-to headlines. These are very effective because it tells them that we are about to answer their biggest question. Okay, so how to increase your sales by X amount. So how to increase your affiliate sales by 100%. Again, to an affiliate marketer, this is a perfect headline. It's attention grabbing, it's evoking curiosity, it's hitting on their pain point. Another one, how to start a profitable online business. Okay, these are very powerful how-to headlines, so be aware of that. Then we have the ways to and reasons why headline. So 3 ways to write headlines that grab your prospects' attention. Okay, so remember, these are just, you can just literally make a note of these and just fill in the blanks. Okay, very, very simple. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. This is what works right now. So I'm using the example here, 3 ways to write headlines that grab your prospects' attention. Now, just imagine that you are an aspiring copywriter or somebody who's trying to construct a sales page together. And, this headline right here, 3 ways to write the headlines that are going to grab your prospect. It's exactly what they're looking for. All right. So this is the sort of stuff that works. So try and make a note of this, and I really want you to understand why this works. Okay, here's another example, 3 ironclad reasons why you need this proven headline formula in your business. So if you were to read this line, just ask yourself, what would you do? You'd want to read more. You'd want to find out more, right? And remember, the goal of the headline is to get them to read the next line or the subheadline. Now, here's a couple headline templates for you. These are actually some of the most effective ones that I've used. I've got a whole document on this for you, so you can download that. But here are 3 of the most powerful ones. So discover how to write highly effective headlines with a proven 3-step formula. Okay, so discover. Discover is always a good word. How to is there, and then we're being relevant. We're addressing their pain point. We're showing them here that it's going to be easy because this is proven. Okay, proven is a very powerful word also when you're thinking about headlines. Another example here, how to start making 500 a day by just writing headlines. Okay, and finally, a proven method to writing high converting headlines in less than 60 seconds. Very powerful, finally, because often our target market is in a state of frustration, and here we're speaking directly to their frustration and we're telling them that we're going to solve it. Okay, and in a reasonable time frame. So remember, convenience, one of the basic human needs. So I hope this is all coming together for you. And the final step is just start drafting your headlines and start testing. So, I always start with 5, and you can start testing them and see what works best. Okay, or feel free to drop them in the group. Let's all have a look. Now we're talking about, after the headline, we come onto the subheadline. A lot of people neglect the subheadline, and boy, oh boy, is that a big mistake. I'm telling you right now, subheadline is one of my most effective weapons that I use in my business. I'm always using subheadlines. They are very, very effective, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. The main goal of the subheadline is to get them to read the first line. Now, I know this sounds very basic, but just bear that in mind. Okay. Remember, this is all a flow of a sales letter. So we want to sort of slide them through the different phases logically. Okay. So the headline, we get their attention. We get them to read the subheadline. The subheadline, we want to create some engagement and get them to read the first line. And of course, I'm going to provide you with a bunch of templates. And in fact, in the previous lesson, I gave you a couple of subheadline templates, but just bear in mind that you want want to create some engagement with the subheadline. So, for example, if we go back to one of these, discover how to write highly effective headlines with a proven 3-step formula. This is the headline. The subheadline could be the subheadline could be, these are the exact this is the exact formula that I've used in order to generate X amount. Okay, so it's engaging them. It's telling them that, well, this is what I've got for you ahead. Okay. So after the subheadline, we move on to the opener. The opener is a very important part of your copy. Okay, and we're talking about the opening statement in your sales message, or it could be in your VSL, the first statement. And a lot of people struggle here. There's a lot of struggle here because, well, if you can't get the opener, then obviously you're not going to go on. And it's very hard to get some momentum going in your copy. So when it comes to openers, there's two very effective formats that I'm going to tell you about here today. One is a hypnotic opener, and two is ask a question. Okay, so we're going to go through those here. And again, Matt Basak's marketing sidekick, he has hundreds of these openers, and you can literally just swipe them out and see what works best for you. Okay, so here's some hypnotic opener examples. Let's just go through them here. Why are they effective? Why do they work? Marketers are spending thousands of dollars on info products and online courses every month. You may even be one of them. Boom. Okay, cool. Okay, so look, it's kind of like we're teasing them here. We're telling them, we're almost saying, you may have spent a lot of money and not got what you were asking for, but that's all about to change. In fact, you could follow up with that, but that's all about to change. Okay, so that's one example of a powerful and hypnotic opener. We're addressing the fact that they may be wasting a lot of money on online courses and nothing's really changing, but hey, we're here with the solution. Here's another one. These are two of the ones that I've personally used, and they're very, very effective. Okay, so let's go through this one. After nearly 12 months of long hours, late nights, and long weekends in the lab, my team and I have compiled over 100 of our highest converting and most effective headlines for sales letters and bound them into one huge package. Boom, very powerful. If you open with that, the reader is, of course, going to be compelled to see exactly what it is you have. If you just read that out loud to yourself, the image it creates in your mind is that, the thing that that the target customer is about to get their hands on, or possibly get their hands on, is of extreme value. It's the result of a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours, a lot of late nights, long weekends. We've compiled something. 100. It's 100 of our highest converting and most effective headlines. I mean, wow, this sounds epic. It's this is the kind of language that really draws people in. So feel free to use these, make a note of them, and please understand why they're effective, why they work. And you can even start crafting your own openers. Here's another good one. At this very moment, you are competing with hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of other marketers trying to get your prospects' attention using headlines. All right. You'll notice that in all of these openers, we're using numbered amounts, So the reason for that is we are trying to create a sense of almost secrecy, or how can I say, we're putting them in a position of an advantage. So we're saying, look, there's hundreds and thousands of other people out there, but guess what? None of them are here. None of them are here where you are. We're making them feel important. We're making them feel almost part of something unique. That is what works most effectively. This is like almost, if you imagine them getting sucked in deeper and deeper into the sales letter. When I show you the templates, you'll see exactly how that works. But I hope you notice that within within the openers there. Here's a final one. I have to get this off my chest before I explode. I mean, emotive, powerful opener. You know, as the target customer, you're thinking, what's this guy or girl? What do they need to get off their chest? Wow, they're about to explode. I mean, this must be big. This must be huge. I better lock in. I'm lucky. It's almost as if they're fortunate to be in this moment, reading this page, reading your offer. So that's the whole game that we're playing here, guys. I hope that makes sense. And here's another one, actually. If you're concerned about your headlines not being effective, then this letter is for you. This is actually a very, 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 very powerful one. We're just addressing their hot button again. So if you're concerned about your dog behaving badly, then this video is for you. If you're concerned about how to convert cold traffic into sales, then this video is for you. If you are concerned about your pain, then this video or letter is for you. Okay, very effective. Make a note of these, guys. You're going to want to use them. Now we go on to question openers. So asking a question. And why this is so effective, because what we start doing is everybody has an internal narrative. That means they have a conversation already going on inside their head. And it's what we want to do here, which is very, very effective. We don't want to stop that conversation. We want to actually add to it and offer some answers to whatever they're kind of struggling with, right? This is why marketers and consultants, they always ask you questions. Well, hey, where are you right now in your business? They try and ask you questions because the whole reason is they're trying to get an idea of where it is you're struggling and what sort of internal conversations you're having with yourself inside, so they can just fill in the gaps. All right. So here are a couple good examples. Are you sick and tired of spending countless hours trying to figure out how to write openers? You know, we're asking them quite directly, because what they're going to be thinking after this, well, hey, you know, on the rest of this video or on the rest of this sales page, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to stop being sick and tired of spending countless hours. You know, this is for me. This is definitely for me. That's the kind of mindset we're creating here. Here's another one. A newbie trying to write effective openers. Let me show you how you can become a pro. So here we're sort of making a promise almost. We're saying, look, hey, we're going to take you from that place of where you're really struggling to write effective openers, and let me show you how you can become a pro. Well, that's the promise I'm giving them. Okay. I'm saying to them, hey, watch the rest of this video or read the rest of this sales page, and I'm going to show you how to become a pro. Okay. Very, very effective. This is how I keep people glued to my sales pages, and you can too. All right. This is the exact techniques. And again, want to know the secrets to writing good openers without having to pay an arm and a leg. So again, you know, we're kind of saying, look, you want to save money, or you want to stop wasting money? You want to know a couple secrets of how to do this the right way? Well, read on, my friend, because I'm about to tell you how. All right. I hope you see how this is all working. Now, after the opener, we've got the headline, the subheadline, then we got the opener, then we come to the main body. Okay. The body of our sales letter. And again, there's a formula for this, and I'm going to take you through that. I'm very quickly going to just talk through a very well-known formula which you can use throughout your body, and it's basically called the problem agitate solution formula. And it's really just a proven formula for the body of your copy, where you basically just highlight the problem, then we invoke some sort of emotional trigger here with the agitate, and then we do the solution, and you just literally repeat that formula. You can do that within your copy in nice little bullet-sized paragraphs. So the first step, obviously, you need to set forth the problem in a clear and straightforward way. All right. So, hey, right now you're struggling to work out how to write good copy. That's your problem right there. We need to establish it clearly. Okay. We need to almost have them saying yes, nodding, agreeing with us. Then we inject that emotion. So where the second step is agitation, we need to introduce some sort of emotion into the whole formula. So strong emotions such as fear, frustration, resentment, anger. So a real common way and a real good way to do this is like, hey, you're struggling how to really get results online, right? Well, don't worry, it's not your fault. You've actually been lied to. You've been lied to by these gurus, or you've been lied to um by these so-called course creators, or whatever. So you're sort of getting them riled up. You're tapping into their anger, because it may be that they have mistrusted someone, or spent some money on a flash in the pan course, or whatever, a hype job. You get that a lot. Or you can even tap into their fears. So are you starting to think that you're never going to make a penny online? You're just hitting that deep deep emotion. It's necessary to do this. Okay, it's important that you don't really feel bad about it, because we must tap into people. This is selling. This is marketing. This is how it works. All right. So think about that. And then obviously introduce your solution to the problem. Well, that doesn't have to be the case anymore. That doesn't have to be the case anymore, because what I'm offering is a proven way to change all that. It's not just me saying it, but it's 300 other people, or whatever. You get the idea. And here's an example for you. Okay. So we're talking about the body of your copy, and we're using the problem, agitate, solution formula, which is just a simple basic formula. There are others, but this is probably the easiest one. And here's a very, very simple example where I can highlight each element of that. So you, the struggling affiliate marketer, are already at a huge disadvantage in the marketplace. Okay. You, the struggling affiliate marketer, are already at the huge disadvantage in the marketplace. Here I'm gonna start highlighting the problem that you're facing. Every time you check your inbox, there is another email from a guru demanding your attention and your money. Now you will end up paying more out of pocket for another useless product you don't need. So the problem here is that they're being bombarded with offers left, right, and center, and they don't really know what, it's not working for them. Basically, they're stuck almost. They're stuck in a little jam. Then I'm going to trigger their emotion here and make them feel a little bit riled up and angry, because I'm talking about their money. I'm talking about their out of pocket. I'm using the word useless, and you don't need this. So they're kind of feeling fed up, and they're agreeing with me like, well, yeah, I am kind of fed up. I am kind of fed up. I keep having to do that. And it is getting me a little bit, it's causing me a hell of a lot of aggro, right? And then we introduce the solution. Unless you discover the truth behind marketing online, normally only used by the big guys to fight back. All right. So here again, we're creating an emotional situation here where it's us against them. We're getting them real riled up. We're creating a us versus them, which is also an effective technique. And we're letting them know that we have the solution to this pain that you're feeling, right? And a couple other formulas. There's fortune telling. So, very briefly, it's just like you want to paint a picture for the future, what their life's going to look like after they invest in your product, after they invest in your solution, after they start working with you. What is the future going to look like for them? How is their life going to be without that pain? How is their life going to be now that they found the solution? So very, very powerful, this fortune telling. And of course, winners versus losers, which is all about what works versus what doesn't. So I kind of use that here a little bit by saying normally only used by the big guys. So this is what the winners do. This is what the big guys do. This is what the gurus do. And you could do that too. So everybody wants to know what's already working and what all the experts and so-called gurus are doing. So you can use this as a formula in your body. So an easy way to do this is, hey, are you curious about what all the top affiliate marketers, how they keep getting on those leaderboards. Well, look, now you can find out, because I'm showing you exactly what the A players do. And probably what you've been doing before is why you are where you are right now. But if you start using what works, what us winners use, or what the winners use, well, then look, you're very likely to be a winner yourself. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Next, we want to establish our credibility. All right. This is incredibly important in today's market. There's a lot of rubbish going around. It's really not it's not a hard thing to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. So there's something known as personal credibility. It sounds kind of simple, but like sometimes owners and product sellers, they're reluctant to use their real name or real identity for whatever reason, or a picture, which is strange. But yeah, it's really your personal credibility. Just whack on a photo of yourself. Of course, if you've got a family or something like that, it looks better. It makes you seem just a credible person. Like, it sounds crazy, but you want to let them know that you're just an upstanding citizen. Okay, you have some level of personal credibility. Like, even if you have a dog, it kind of shows that you have a sense of responsibility. And also another thing is just let them know your location. Like, it sounds simple, but you could just say, I am writing from my desk here in London. Like, I'm in London right now. Well, okay, cool. This guy's from London. He's pretty open about where he's from. He's not somewhere on the other side of the world, or just like, I don't know, he's not writing from a prison cell, whatever. But just be open about these things. They're simple little things, and it gives you very strong personal credibility. Then we're talking about business credibility. So here is where you want to say, what products you've released, or what courses you've been part of, or what you've been able to do for other people, or who you've worked with, or how long you've been online. These are all ways to build credibility. And probably the best way to establish credibility is testimonials. And this is actually a whole different section, but it ties in together with the establishing credibility part of the thing. So here I'm going to give you a little example. So once you've done the headline, the subheadline, the opener, then before we get them enticed and into the juicy stuff, we just let them know, look, let me introduce myself. My name is X, and you may not know me yet, but by the time you've read this letter, not this video, or watch this video, you'll be glad that you have. So here's an example that I wrote. So here I just said, my name is Jasdeep Singh. So, there's no like Mr. X, or I don't know, this isn't a pen name. This is just my real name. If they want to look me up on Facebook, they can. I'm there. It's just people want to know your name, so it's just a very simple, easy thing. And I went on to say, I've been marketing online for 4 years. So a lot of people say, oh, I haven't released any products or books or anything, so it's hard for me to establish some sort of credibility or authority. Well, no, it's not. It's just the way you look at it. So, if you've been online for any period of time, you could simply just mention that. If you haven't been a full-time online marketer, that's fine. Like, you can just say, I've been in the affiliate marketing space for X amount of years, so you just got to be a little bit smart with it. And so then, in which time I've had the pleasure of serving over 3,000 customers with leads for their business. So here, I'm building the credibility by saying I've worked with all these different people. I've also been invited to talk on stage at some of the largest events in the industry, and worked one-on-one with 7 and 8 figure top earners in the industry, helping them to take their business to the next level. Here I would actually include pictures of these things just to reinforce the credibility factor here. I also have Like I also wrote a book on Amazon, so that is something I would probably include as well if I was doing that. But in your situation, you know, you just have to find some things that you can use to build credibility. And it doesn't always have to be online results or whatever. You can just say things like, if you've come from a different industry or different niche and you got results there, you can just say, well, look, I've been able to achieve results here. If you're part of a company with amazing leaders, then you can say, look, I've connected with some of the top leaders in the industry. All right, you get the idea, but that's how you establish the credibility factor. Now, moving on to the story of discovery. So, how did you actually come to get to this point? What's your story? Now, stories are very effective for the following reasons. They give us an emotional connection. So, as the reader, we've always we're hardwired to basically listen to stories since birth. Okay, so humans are addicted to stories. So if you can tell a good story, then you're going to be able to have a engaged and very highly motivated audience. And remember, stories spread. So this is what leads to virality, lots of organic traffic. If you're telling a good story, people are going to share, and that's where organic traffic come from. And also it paints a picture. Okay, so it allows them to see vividly exactly what you're talking about. Another reason you want to tell a story is because you can break down complex ideas in simple terms. Okay, the use of stories and metaphors is always a good way to do this. So it's very good for a sort of a cold audience. Okay, storytelling, and of course you're able to build a tribe. So why are stories so effective? All right, and I just want to go into storytelling here for a couple of slides because I want you guys to really understand this. I'm going to give you some of the most advanced and powerful storytelling training right now. And if you can harness this and start telling these stories in everything you do, your Facebook marketing, your YouTube videos, whatever, and your sales pages, of course, you're going to be an absolute killer. All right. I'm going to go through why stories are so effective and exactly how you can start building a story into your sales copy. So let's jump into this right now. So firstly, it's a cheap and unlimited resource, all right? So a story, basically, we all have one. It's just using your imagination. And it's actually a very easy to follow formula. And if you don't know that right now, well, I'm going to give you that formula. I'm going to give you that formula in these next slides. And so you already have everybody has a personal story. So you already have what you need to tell the story. You just need to adopt the framework, which I'm going to give you here. Now, there was some famous, he was I forget the exact name of it, but, you know, he wasn't just a storyteller. He was like a spiritualist or something, but he designed the cheat sheet for what storytelling is. All right. And here it is. It goes like this. This is the story that we are hardwired to believe in and pay attention to as human beings. So the usual hero adventure begins with someone from whom something has been taken, who feels there is something lacking in the normal experience available or permitted to the members of society. This person then takes off on a series of adventures beyond the ordinary, either to recover what has been lost or to discover some life-giving elixir. It's usually a cycle, a coming and a returning. That's it, guys. That's all it is. Okay. So the human mind is hardwired to respond to this story type. So this is the story. This is the type of story that is used in like Disney, in all the movies. This is the basic storytelling that we as humans find so powerful. So maybe just take a note of that. Number two, why are stories so effective? Well, once you have them hooked in a strong and compelling narrative, you basically have a customer for life. Okay. You just have to look at Toy Story or any of the franchises. But once they've told a good story, or Friends, you know, for example, the thing, it creates a real sense of loyalty. And so if you're able to get people hooked on a good compelling story that you're telling them, then you're going to have that customer for life. Okay, so we're not just talking about sales, but we're talking about customers for life. So remember, it's incredibly addictive. So just think about Netflix series that you watch. once you buy into the narrative that they're selling, okay, remember it's just a product that they're selling, TV series. Once you buy into that, once you think, yep, this relates to me, this gives me what I want, you always watch the next episode. And it's going to be the same here. So once you've sold them on the first story, they're always going to want more. Okay, they're going to want more of the product you're selling. They're going to want more of you. They're going to want more content. They're going to keep reading. They're going to keep listening. They're going to keep buying. This is how marketing is really done. Okay. And finally, the viral effect. So this is really how virality is achieved online, because what will happen is your customers, your readers or listeners, they're going to start distribute your story to others. Okay. Remember, stories, they're told, designed to be told. A story is designed to be told and shared with others, and nothing's different in the online space. People share other people's stories, so make sure that you're telling a good one. Okay, the greatest brands always tell the greatest stories. If you don't take my word for it, just look at Disney. Just look at the companies that are doing the best. Coca-Cola, they're telling the story that this is the drink you need after a hard day's work. And they almost painted into the American dream kind of thing. So as a hardworking American, we drink Coke kind of thing. Okay, you get the idea. So now I'll move on to the story framework and exactly how you can start framing your own stories and using them to write effective copy and effective sales pages. Okay, now the first element of a good story is the familiar hero. Okay, you need your protagonist, and always in your story the target customer should actually be your protagonist. So put yourselves in their shoes. You want to basically create somebody that your target market can relate to, someone that they care about, and someone that they really want to succeed. So obviously, like, even when you're writing about yourself, it's still not about you, it's about them. So you need to portray the characteristics that they have within your main characters. So in a sense, you're simply just playing a role in your customer's story. So always make your target customer the main character in your story. Even if you're sharing a personal story, it should be related to them. Okay, even though you're telling a story about yourself, it's really them listening to a story about themselves. Okay, so again, ask yourself how they see the world. What are their core beliefs, their fears, their pains, and their doubts? And then basically you want to hone in on these. Element 2, you want to start creating the setting and paint the scene. Okay, so you must create the world that they're familiar with and understanding. So if my message is all about how to get affiliate marketers more sales, I want to start creating a setting where they're frustrated, they're sitting at their desk late at night, waking up, or unable to sleep at night. You can say they're sitting at their desk alone. Maybe they haven't showered in a couple of days. I don't know, but I'm painting a scene that they're familiar with, that they can just drop in and they can really see themselves in that world. All right. So again, you want to use emotional motivators. And with emotional motivators, there are 6 main emotional motivators with storytelling. These are proven, so we could just go through them very quickly. So motivation 1 is adventure. So remember, your target customer are always seeking a connection to the experience of being alive. So we all have within us a sense of adventure and we long for it. So you almost want to take them on this adventure with you. And then the motivation 2 is the togetherness. We always want to feel part of something. So again, we were talking earlier about creating a sense of community, making it seem as though they're going to be part of something bigger. They're on a mission with you. You're on a mission to create a community of budding entrepreneurs or whatever it might be. Motivation 3, caregiving and receiving care. We all want to feel appreciated for what we do. If you can weave in how your product can help them do that, then this will be extremely effective in your copy. Motivation 4, peace of mind, so not having to worry about bills, not having to worry about um, um, where their next paycheck's going to come from, and so forth. And then motivation 5 is a self-expression. So, everybody wants to be able to express themselves and be respected. And then motivation 6, conviction. So seeking a sense of justice or awareness of world events. So if we paint the scene around these motivators based on our target customer, then we've created a world which they actually understand and can relate to, makes our story more compelling, makes them more hooked to it. Now, element 3 of your story, you really want to give them a call to adventure. Okay, think Lord of the Rings. I hope you've seen Lord of the Rings, but if you haven't, Gandalf comes to see Frodo. Everything's cool, but there's a problem about this ring, and he's called him. Look, this is a dangerous mission, but if you don't do it, then there's going to be some real problems. Like the world's going to end. So it's always about thinking your target market here, that they need some sort of objective, or they need the end goal to strive for. So we can use the emotional motivators to call them into the journey. So for many of you, your target customers' main objective is going to be to achieve financial freedom. So call them to this adventure, come and summon them, and invite them to join you on this journey to get that freedom that they really desire deep down. And then element 4 is the refusal to accept the call. So it's like the worst case scenario. So I was just talking about Lord of the Rings. Well, if Frodo didn't accept the challenge, he didn't accept to go on the adventure, well, the Shire that he so loves so much, the world as he knows it, it's going to be basically destroyed. So the consequences were too dire if he didn't take action. And in the same way that happened, we have to ask our target customer, well, what happens if you don't solve your problem? Are you going to be stuck in the same situation? Are you still going to be miserable and unmotivated and frustrated and pulling your hair out? Are you still going to be having a badly behaved dog? If you're in the dog niche, or if you're in the dating niche, you're still going to be feeling alone and whatever. You get the idea. Element 5, a helper along the way. So this is where you introduce your brand, and how are you exactly going to help them on this journey. And then element 6, the magical item, your offer product. Okay, this is the secret sauce. And the moment you put into words how you can help them, how your product will be incorporated in their story, their own personal story, is the moment they're forced to use the narrative loving brain of theirs to experience it. So this is why storytelling is so powerful, because once you have them along this story and then you incorporate your product, you align it with their own personal story, then the whole narrative is going to make sense for them. They're going to obviously want more. And element 7, the happy ending. Okay, so what does their life look like now? So they've purchased your product, they decided to work with you. How are things looking different? Are they able to have the freedom? Are they able to have the dream car that they wanted? Are they able to spend more time with their family? Are they able to just sleep better? Are they able to live worry free? And so this is a technique that we use called future pacing. And future pacing is very, very powerful, because you're basically getting inside the customer's head, and you're letting them paint the picture for themselves, as if they make this decision right now, then that's what they're going to be. That's the dream destination, and that's the happy ending that they're going to have. Okay. So after the discovery of story, then we start to introduce our product. Okay. So we want to just make a section where it's saying what exactly are they getting, so what when you're doing this, you really want to be answering, like, what makes it unique? Why is your product different from everything else that's out there? And is it the obvious and perfect solution to their problem? All right. And what makes it better and different to the rest. So here at this point, once you've done the steps above, you then introduce your product using these steps here. After that comes testimonials. Okay. Remember, we talked about this briefly before. Testimonials, very, very, very powerful. The more you can have, the better. It not only gives social proof, like what others are doing. Yes, it's working for others, but we always have to remember people carry the herd mentality. So they often follow what others do. Okay. It's just hardwired into us. So a couple of key points with regards to testimonials. All right. I hope I don't have to actually emphasize this point, but make sure they're real. You want real testimonials. There's nothing worse than fake testimonials. I don't know if you've seen some or not, but it's very easy to see if you hire an actor to just give you a bunch of testimonials, it doesn't work, because the emotion's not there, the authenticity isn't there. And if you're going to do fake testimonials, you're better off just not doing any. But really, to get testimonials, it's easy. If you're carrying enough value, you can just simply give out your product as a free sample to a few people in exchange for a testimonial. You want to make that testimonial compelling, and you don't just want ordinary testimonials. You want them to address the core pain points. So, for example, I'll use my testimonials for my traffic sources. I kind of asked the customer just to be honest and open, like before they found my traffic source, what were they experiencing? And in most cases, it was like a lack of sales or just a poor quality traffic source. And then how did that change after? So in most of the testimonials, people are just talking about the journey that they were able to go on and how they were able to solve those emotional hot emotional buttons that we talked about before. So within your testimonials, you could try and ask your customers to try and address those core pain points, right? And of course, you want to emphasize your big idea. So if your big idea is helping people to get more conversions, then ask your customer, say, hey, if I helped you with the conversions, then please do mention that element of it, because I really want to get this idea across. And obviously, testimonials, it's a great way to give credit to the claims that you've made. So in the sales message above, in all the copy and headlines and sub headlines, we're making some promises, or we're letting them know that we're confident that we have the answer to their problem. And so the testimonials are really verification of that, and there's really nothing more powerful than that. So like, just imagine you're able to say in your message that you're able to solve someone's problem of not being able to get a high quality traffic source for on a consistent basis. And then you have a testimonial where the person's not just saying but showing that, hey, I've been able to do this with this guy or girl's product, and it's worked for me. Well, boom, that's like, wow, okay, so this guy, he not only is he saying it, but look, other people are saying it as well. So it's a really, really powerful tool. So make sure you use it. Then we want to go on to the benefits and the bullet points. So benefits are usually best used with a bullet point format, because it's easy to read, and you want to have that sort of boom, 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 hard hitting effect. So it gives you an opportunity to talk about the features of your product. But again, like I've discussed before, you don't want to talk too much about the features. You want to talk about the benefits of the features, and then the benefits within the benefits. So basically, the benefit within the benefit is, for example, a benefit of being able to I think I talked about this just before, but this is something that we need to really get clear on, because it's no good just talking about the benefit, but the real powerful thing is, what does that benefit bring them? Okay, if that makes sense. So for example, if I'm able to, if the feature of my traffic or my product or whatever, let's use traffic. One of the main features of my product, of my traffic, is that it comes from a fresh and untapped source. Okay, cool. That's the feature. The benefit of that is that you are able to get leads that are not recycled and not washed up and haven't been on hundreds and hundreds of different lists and bombarded to death. The benefit of that benefit is that you're able to make real sales with this traffic and therefore able to put more money in your pocket. And then the benefit of that is that you're able to get financial freedom and so on. But obviously you don't want to go too deep. Just do the benefit within the benefit. But I hope you get the idea. And, you know, another key bit about this part of the sales page is you want to help them to justify the purchase. So people are always looking to justify money that they've spent. Okay, so you want to just take that off their shoulders and give them good reasons to justify why they're going to spend this money for you. And a really good way to do this is to use this phrase: here are the 6 ironclad reasons why you need product X. I include this in my sales copy in the templates you're going to get. But yeah, this basically just gives them 6 reasons to say, well, yep, that's definitely worth spending that. Okay, yep, that's definitely worth spending that. Okay, yep. These are 6 different reasons why they need this product. And you want to be, again, thinking about the return on investment. So, you know, if they're about to spend $50, well, with whatever you're about to get them, the return on investment should be huge, you know, like 500% or whatever. So you really want to emphasize that whole ROI equation for them. And again, value stack, you know, so again, just building more value into your product. Now we go on to bonuses, another critical part of the sales page. All right, and I hope you're taking notes of all of this, because once you understand these elements, you're basically able to sell anything. All right, now bonuses. So first thing, make them logical. So if you're selling traffic, you can make one of the bonuses a capture page or emails. If you're selling a product, then you can make one of the bonuses a traffic getting method, because if somebody has a product which they're going to buy from you, then they need traffic. So one of the bonuses, give them some traffic getting method. You get the idea. Okay. Now add real value. So a lot of the time bonuses are just slapped together and they don't really make sense. Okay. So you could be selling I've seen people sell like a software on how to get more YouTube traffic. And then one of the bonuses is how to run Facebook ad campaigns. Okay, cool. That's a cool bonus, but it's very illogical and random, and it doesn't make sense. You know, a better bonus would be telling them how to set up a YouTube retargeting campaign. Okay, so you want to add real value, not just adding bonuses for the sake of it. It just doesn't make sense. And the whole idea with bonuses is you want to make the combined value even more valuable than the product itself. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the sales pages, and you'll see that. But the thing with the bonuses is you want them to, you don't want the value to be tangible. So you don't want to actually have price tags. So for example, like if one of your bonuses is a secret mastermind private Facebook group, well, you can't really put a value on that because it's kind of priceless in a way, in a sense. So, you know, you don't want it to be tangible. So you don't want to give away a book that actually has a price, you know, you can do that, but you want to obviously, you want to do something called value stack, which is if they're paying $97, well, you can give them like $5,000 worth of bonuses, you know. So here's an example of how to emphasize that this is not just another crappy bonus package. You are getting real value from this offer. So, you know, an example of some bonuses that could be used, and, you know, you really want to put some thought into this, but like private group access, you know, make it exclusive. So they get personal time with you, but they also get to connect with other entrepreneurs. So it's almost like a membership, like a club, which is valuable. Why is it valuable? Because you get to share ideas, you get to have share different skill sets. I mean, that's an immensely valuable bonus that you should always have. You could use something like one-to-one time. So, an hour of your time, only you know how valuable that is. How much money could you really make in an hour? Well, it's kind of unlimited. So you could give them like an hour free consultation or something. Then you got templates, swipe files, tools, software. So just some more things to think about there. Next comes your guarantee. So a guarantee is it's effective. It's an effective little weapon in your sales page. It's designed to basically take the risk off of them, and you take all the risk on yourself. Put the risk on your shoulders. Okay, it's called reverse the risk. And you got the popular old money back guarantee. So 30 days money back guarantee. So try it for 30 days. There's a bunch of guarantees that you can use, and I'll include them in the templates. But just make sure you have a good solid guarantee, and you want to really reverse the risk, take the risk off them, and really make it a no risk offer. Okay, so here's a good example. I absolutely guarantee if you stick with me for the full amount of time, so you can say 6 months or 4 weeks or whatever it is that you're selling, and you take action on the 3 steps I'm showing you, you'll make at least 10 times your investment. If you don't, you will get back every cent you paid me, no questions asked. All I ask is you prove you made a good faith effort. So if you're selling something of good value, like for example, this course, if I was to make the guarantee that I'll give you a full refund if you implemented everything I've taught you, you just have to show me, well, one or two things are going to happen. Um, you If you have not already implemented it, then you can only get the money back if you've shown me that you've made an effort. And if you've made an effort to go through it, then you're going to get your investment back because this is a proven way, right? Or number two, you're not going to ask for your money back because you've already made the effort and you're starting to get results, right? So again, use Matt Basak's Marketing Sidekick book. Okay. And I'm not getting any affiliate commissions on this. I'm not an affiliate of his or anything. It's just a book I picked up, and I'm just telling you because it's really easy. It saves a lot of time. It's just an easy swipe file that's handy to have on your desk for all these things. Now, finally, we have the PS, the postscript. Sometimes people miss this out, but it's a very effective little tool. And you have to think that, once they've read the whole sales page, then now they're kind of thinking, well, okay, cool. I've just read all that. So you just want to give them one last little push, you can say. You want to either like emphasize that there's no risk here, or you can use the 2 options method. The two options method I told you about, I think, in the first slide, but basically the 2 options method is you say, hey, at this, if you've come this far, at this point, you have 2 options. Option A, you carry on, you close this page, you carry on doing what you've been doing, and you stay stuck in that same situation, and you basically get nowhere. Option B, you take my no risk guarantee, you join forces with me and test this out for 6 days. How is option A even an option when you put it like that? Well, it's not. So very powerful. Here's some examples of the PSs that I use. All right. And they work, believe me. So it's a good one. Some of the techniques you'll learn are so powerful and hard hitting that they have to be kept under padlock and key. What only members get access to our inner vault of powerful secrets. The whole thing here is we're creating a sense of exclusivity, a sense of belonging. And again, remember, it's the us versus them, which I've already explained why that is an effective method in copywriting. Another one, stop and consider for a moment just how much $1,000 a month can be worth to your current situation. You deserve this, and so does your family. Okay, slightly more hard hitting. This is another example. So I believe This was for a customer who was selling a method where he was showing how you can get 1K a month. He proves it as well. So we were able to use this. And we've hit here upon their current situation. So again, we're having them think about that emotional hot button. We're putting them back there and saying, you don't want to be in this uncomfortable situation anymore. Then we're letting them know that you really deserve this, because sometimes people, they have some guilt about spending on products like this. So we're kind of removing that there. And then we're obviously including the love aspect of the family. So we're kind of making it bigger than just them. We're making it bigger. We're putting them on that mission. And this is just a risk reversal one again. So, I truly do offer a 30-day money back guarantee. All the risk lies on my shoulders, so we're just removing the risk. So again, very, very powerful PSs. And then there's another one here about bonuses. Okay, so this is the PS. Now that concludes the slides and the lesson really. But I want you to really take on board what we've been talking about here. And I hope you've taken notes and you can download the slides. So this is the template of how to write effective sales letters and messages, VSL, sorry. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you my personally written sales letters, one to which, has done so well. It's sold over $60,000 worth of product, with very, very little traffic. We didn't even run any paid traffic to it. So I want you to take this formula and really just create your own little bullet points or whatever. And whenever you want to sell something, just start using this formula and just, you tell me how it works, because this is exactly what I did. I worked out a method. I partnered up with the other people who were doing well, and I learned how to write sales copy. And I just wrote a sales page like this. And I basically just took people off of Facebook onto that sales page and sold them something, something that would really help them. So again, this is like all you really need. You don't even need a funnel, so to speak. If you can construct a proper sales page using this copy, then you're golden. Okay. But look, thanks for listening. I'm going to see you on the third lesson, where I'm just going to show you through a couple of case studies and give you the template so you can start constructing your own sales letters. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you found it valuable. Thanks again for being with me here, and I'll see you on the next one.